Tube? Right. Okay. All right, folks. Welcome to the special meeting on April 28th of the Page Unified School District District 8 Board. It's good to see everybody. I hope everybody is able to listen. A couple of just instructions as we begin. You'll see a mute, unmute button in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. And when you're speaking, you'll have to unmute and make sure you mute once you're done speaking. That way we'll try to prevent some of the feedback. But I'd really like to thank Brian and all those responsible for getting this up. It looks like it's going to work really, really well. See everybody very clearly. So excellent. What'd you say? A lot of echo. Okay. What do we have here? I'm sorry. Oh, Larry's not muted. Okay. Yep, you are. Okay, I think we're ready to get going. It is 5:03 on April the 28th, and like to call this special meeting to order. And I'd like to start with a roll call, starting on my left. Miss, unmute yourself, I believe. Okay.
Desiree Fowler, Board Clerk.
Ed Franklin.
Rob Varner, Superintendent.
Miss Sandra.
Sandra Kidman,
Sandra.
did you hear me? Okay.
Okay, sorry. So Lynn Hoffman, Board Executive Assistant, and good to see everybody. And once again, under the circumstances, we'll work hard at this. There's been a lot of work to put this together, so appreciate that already. So let's go ahead and get through our agenda for the special meeting. We've gone through our roll call, and we'll go to an approval of the agenda. I'll call for the motion. D has made the recommendation. I need a second.
I'll second it, Ed Franklin.
Ed Franklin has seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the motion passes. And we'll go ahead and start off with the first agenda item. It's an evaluation performance pay plan. We'll need a motion and a second for this action item.
And then when you're going to mute. Right now, you're unmuted, okay?
Okay. When I talk, that's when I press it.
Correct.
I'll make a motion to approve the evaluation performance pay plan.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, Rob Varner.
So we've been at this for about 3 weeks. I had a conference call with Kathy Hoffman, Superintendent of Public Instruction, along with many other superintendents that are in our area. And one of the questions was evaluations and the performance pay plan. We are in unusual situations, so we came up with an unusual plan. This, as you know, evaluations are normally done in the fourth quarter of the year. Because of school closure, many of our teachers did not get evaluated completely. So there was really 3 options that we had. One was to, many districts did this. They basically kicked it down the road, which is not within policy to do so. The other one was use old data on the AZ M2 um, test, which really helps with the performance pay plans, the billing goals, and the evaluation system. So we chose to go with a plan that I've worked with our team. Mr. Wallen was part of that, the administrative team, and also legal counsel for the district. So basically, what we came up with was a finalization of a self-assessment. All certificated employees will do a self-evaluation. As you can see on the page that talked about the evaluation performance pay plan. Um, really, the first paragraph really is something that we wanted in there to make sure that folks that are being placed on or remaining on an improvement plan will continue to do so during the fall of the year. And those three questions really is a reflective of all the certificated staff on how they did this year, what they're going to improve on, what they felt like they did well. There's questions about relationships, professional development, on their own personal goals that they wrote this year, and just a reflective process. Kind of ties in and solidifies our evaluation and performance pay plan for this year. Again, it's an equitable plan, one that many people liked and are using. I did share this with other districts who also like the plan as well. So this is just a temporary, allows temporary flexibility and still follows the policy. The key here was to work with our local board on an equitable system, and it's a good system. The more I look at it, the more I appreciate the work that everyone has done on it, and so my recommendation and the administrative team's recommendation is that we approve this to get through this year. Those who are on improvement plans or will be placed on improvement plans will continue to do so in the fall of the year. Any questions?
Any questions from the board? Okay, I'd just like to say good work on getting this thing accomplished and to the finish line. So, what's your estimate of a timeline to have everything completed?
So we're going to work on dropping this in the next day or two. Send a all staff email to all certificated employees. We are going to complete our classified evaluations since they're not tied to a performance pay. Those will be done. May 22nd is what we're asking everyone to be completed with this task, and it'll come back to the board in June for final approval.
Okay, sounds like a really good plan. Anybody have any further comments?
I have a comment. Do I unmute it?
You're good.
My question is, how does this align with the current pay plan that came across our district office several weeks ago?
Well, the pay plan, are we talking about the performance pay plan that
Yes.
we approved earlier in the year? Completely different. It had to be different because the building goals were not going to be completed because of AZ Merit 2 was not done. A lot of teachers had personal goals tied to some of the data performance. We did not have our third quarter or third benchmark test as well, so there was no data finalization on data. So we had to look at a different way to evaluate. The conversation with Kathy Hoffman was, of course, be flexible, work with your local LEA, come up with a viable plan. That's why I worked with other superintendents as well as our legal counsel to make sure that this plan was going to be acceptable and approved through any type of audit situation. So really we had to almost start over, even though there's some not assessments, but there's some indicators that were still completed by the principals where they can still have feedback. I mean, evaluation is really to improve your instruction. So that feedback is ongoing. But but unusual times need unusual plans. So this is the plan that the team came up with, which was very thoughtful and allows self reflection and puts that work on the teachers.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any questions or comments? Okay, we do have a motion that has been on the floor, and I'm going to call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 It passes unanimously. Next item on the special agenda is food service program permanent service agreement for the 2020-2021 school year. It's an action item. I call for a motion.
I make a motion that we approve the food service program permanent service agreement for 2020 and 2021.
I second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Again, Dr. Berner.
Well, this is normally a consent agenda item. This comes from the Department of Education. Just allows PUSD to be part of the National Food Program, the National Milk Program, and the National Breakfast Program. So this is an ongoing yearly update to continue to work through those programs. And my recommendation is to approve it so we can continue to feed our students a wonderful meal, breakfast and lunch, and this goes into the next year as well. Hopefully we'll have school opening, and so kudos to our food staff.
Okay. Appreciate all the work done on this, and I think was it Millie or somebody that prepared it? Okay, thanks a lot. And this is just something that's done annually, so I appreciate that. Any comments or questions from anybody? Okay, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay. That's going to complete the special meeting. I'll call for an adjournment action item, please. A motion, please.
I second. Go ahead.
Okay, so we do have a motion and a second. D moved, Ed Franklin seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we are adjourned.